We're going to take a look at the math learning foundations, or the math domain that you can find in Volume 1 of the Learning Foundations. And so there are 5 developmental strands for these learning foundations. There's number sense, algebra and functions, measurement, geometry, and mathematical reasoning. And so here's an example of the at around 48 months of age and the at around 60 months of age in the Learning Foundations for number sense. So number sense is the strand, and the substrands are child begins to understand number and quantities in their everyday environment at 48 months. And remember, and the second one is children begin to understand number relationships and operations in their everyday environment. And then you can see the changes that will happen as they get older. They'll expand their understanding in both cases. And so let's take a closer look at number sense then. Number sense focuses in on counting. It's the foundation for future understanding of math. And so building blocks for counting include understanding the sequence of number words, one-to-one correspondence, and cardinality. And so one-to-one correspondence is understanding that one and only one number is used for each object in the array of objects being counted. And cardinality is knowing that the last number assigned to the last object counted gives the total number of the set. And subitize, that's a hard word to say sometimes, is the ability to quickly and accurately determine the quantity of objects in a small group. And for preschool children, that would be up to 5 objects without actually counting the object. So being able to estimate. And then algebra and functions, classification and patterning, so sorting and classifying objects, recognizing and extending and creating patterns. And so classification is the sorting, grouping, or categorizing of objects according to an established criteria. An attribute is a property or characteristic of objects that can be used as a basis for grouping or sorting those objects. Then we have measurement, and this is comparing and ordering objects by length, weight, or capacity. And this is actually the precursor of true measurement using some sort of tool. Geometry looks at the properties of objects, their shape, their size, their position, and the relation of objects in space. So shape knowledge is the recognition, naming, and understanding of shape characteristics and properties. And space is the recognition, naming, and understanding of location, direction, distance, and the identification of objects. And then lastly, we have mathematical reasoning, and this is using mathematical thinking to solve problems as they play in everyday activities, as you can see here in the sandbox.